the city. What is the plan?
Well, the work is underway. On Tuesday, Mayor Jim Watson called for the city manager to start developing a policy. A spokesperson for the city told me that the city manager and city solicitor are working on developing a vaccine policy that is aligned with federal and provincial legislation. And Ottawa Public Health is also working on a plan for its staff. So things are underway, but in Toronto, the city has already announced employees will need to get vaccinated, and there, Toronto Public Health and the Toronto Transit Commission have followed suit. In Ottawa, we're seeing much of the same. Both Ottawa Hospital and Queensway Carleton Hospital are following the provincial directive, which encourages healthcare workers to be vaccinated, but if they chose not to, they undergo regular testing along with an education component. Children's Hospital of Eastern Ontario, or CHEO, is going beyond that directive. They're mandating double vaccination, saying only those with documented medical or human rights exemptions will be allowed to not get vaccinated. Ottawa Police says they're consulting with the Ontario Association of Chiefs of Police and awaiting further input. They currently do not have a policy in place. While Ottawa Carleton District School Board will be hosting an emergency meeting on Tuesday to discuss this. Trustee Lyra Evans said she plans to call for mandatory vaccines for all staff and guests. And lastly, Ottawa Community Housing will be mandating vaccines for their employees and any contractors who work with them. So a lot there, and we spoke to epidemiologist Rewat Deonandan about what this means, and he anticipates more vaccine policies coming forward.
Details are important too. Right now, no one is demanding proof of vaccination. It's entirely self-attestation, which is problematic. It's not ideal, but it's a start. The important part, I think, is that it sends a signal. When an employer, when a large institution, when a trusted institution says this is what we expect, that normalizes a behavior.
He added that many of these policies, in some essence, do fall short. And what we need is mandatory outs unless for a legitimate exemption.
You know, Amber, this vaccination policy story is changing not just by the day, but by the hour. The OHL has just announced, in fact, like an hour or so ago, that it's going to require proof of vaccinations, not just from players and staff, but for spectators. So we're going to stay tuned, and thank you for this update.